Hello everybody. It is September 22nd, Wednesday. I'm John Zidar, and on behalf of PB Alerts, giving you the alerts you want, but the training that you need, this is my DD for It's at the Top and Hot. I'm looking for stocks that are moving, and there's lots of places to get information. It just depends on how much DD you really want to do. Now, you can go to screeners and you can look at all of the high percentages, the high volumes, but that's a lot of work. You can also go through all the news. There's a lot of news to read, but more than that, you'd have to be psychic. Which one is really going to get the response? So what I do is I use the OTC markets, and we just pinpoint the stocks that are getting the attention by looking how many trades they get, which pretty much represents how many people. So let's go see what has been cooking up today after we take a look at what was cooking on our list from yesterday. So here we are at the OTC markets. Be sure to put the S on the end. You'll get some silly site if you don't. OTCmarkets.com. This is an official site. It's not just a site that collects information and wants us to click buttons. That's not what they're interested in. This is a legitimate site backed by FINRA and the SEC. So all of the filings, disclosures, stock information is put here for you and me. This is where they keep it. So it's legitimate and not hyped up. They're hard facts. Speaking of hard facts, let's take a look at what we did today. Today was a much better day. I guess the Fed's talking today got a lot of the market primed up, including ours. Thank goodness. All right, we had about $2.8 billion done today. We've been running at about 2.1 for a long time, and it just hasn't changed. That's exciting. We did 29.1 billion shares. 30 is a slow day, but we haven't seen 30 in months. So I'm quite excited for a slow day. Thank you very much. And then our trades, we are just under 500 million trades, which is not bad. We've been running down in the low 300s, so this is good to see. Excellent. And there was a lot of activity on the market today, by all means. Now, yesterday we went and took a look, just like we're going to do now, at some stocks that had a lot of watchers. We seen they had a lot of volume and they had a lot of gains. Did really good. So we put them on our list today to watch. Now what I did is I took some pictures of the TOS, that's Think or Swim, Think or Swim trading platform that you can get free from TD Ameritrade just for signing up for an account. And I took some snapshots of the page that shows the different prices. Now this was pre-market. You can see at 926. Now I added HPIL to the end of our list. We had generated all of these, or at least we found them. I don't know if we generated them, but we found them. And I added HPIL because we had seen that it had just added an attorney letter, which is a hot piece in this game we're playing right now, with the SEC cutting out all of the non-current OTC stocks off the market. And well, about 6 days now, they will be gone. So companies are scrambling to get current. And there's a lot of investors excited to see their company coming out of the dark woods. And this was how our list of stocks went today. HPIL was having the most pre-market volume with just a little bit on NSPT. Then the bell went off, and HPIL took off at 75% gains. Now, you can obviously stop this and check the details more if you're interested in going through them. HPIL was still holding much of her gains. BRZV wasn't doing much until about noon. We did have CTON, which did 980% gains after waiting 24 hours past the news. Unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. As I said, 12 o'clock, this is when BRZV jumped. BRZV is not going current. They actually had news. They are acquiring a spirit, a liquor company, if you will. Let's see what else we got. 2 o'clock. HPIL has fallen down to 72, and UTRK has moved up to 80%. You can see that a few of these never actually got up on our board. They kind of puttered out. And this is how the day ended. As I said, if you really want to check those details out, it's kind of nice to see how a stock plays from the start of the morning to the middle of the day to the end of the day. These are good snapshots for the stocks we were looking at. Okay, so we are back at OTC Markets. What we are doing so that you can follow along when you're doing this by yourself, which is why I'm teaching. This is very easy. You can do this by yourself through the day while you're trading. We're coming over here to current market. So we've got 3 tabs over here, most active, which is all the stocks, losers and winners, who's ever done the most dollar volume, share volume, or trades. And you can search all 3 up here. The only one you can't search is the percentage change, which is what the middle one's for. And that's the only thing it'll search, and it always puts the highest at the top. So you're not going to be able to put the lowest at the top if that's what you're interested in. And then down here are decliners, something else we're not interested in. Now you can search this by 3 different categories: over a dollar, over a nickel, or all. We are jumping into all because we are looking for the stocks that are trying to go current. And most of those are the cheaper stocks, to be honest. But all is going to cover them anyways. But if we were at over a nickel, we'd miss a lot of them. Now there are 2 sets of stocks we are not going to consider or even look at. These double diamonds, which are the absolute worst, that is skull and crossbones, also known as caveat emptor, the big CE. Those aren't buyable or sellable. They're in bad shape. I don't know how they get up here. They're on a corner market somewhere in the darkest parts of where people spend money, and that's where they get sold. But you and me, we can't get them. Stop signs, unpurchasable. They aren't current. They have not been filing on time. They are still on the open market, but you can't buy them. If you happen to hold them, they'll let you sell, but you can't buy. So what are we looking for? Well, there's nothing. There is one right there. We got a yield sign. A yield sign means that they have limited information. They have some filings in, or they're just a little late. They're not totally negligent of their responsibilities. So they are still purchasable. And most of these yield signs are in danger also of being taken off the market September 28th. So they're scrambling to get their financials, 10Ks, 10Qs, or financial pink disclosures in. And any of those come out, these companies are moving. Most of them are just taking off with unbelievable gains, and some are running for days, 3, 4, 5 days, back to back to back, going up and up. So that's what we're looking at right now. Since it is such a short seasonal window, September 28th, that's actually Tuesday, but I would guess Monday would be the absolute last day we'd have any sort of play on them. So we are going to look for those that have the most trades, and that's real easy. They've got them marked over here. So we're going to look for anything that's relatively high. Obviously, anything in the hundreds is high, but we have to find a yield sign. All right, we have already down to 400%, and we haven't found a single one. Now, it doesn't have to be a yield sign. We'll take a pink, absolutely. Okay, this has only got 55 people, but they generated $32,000. Those 55 people, that's right, for $32,000 into this company today. There was 670,000 shares. Not a lot. It's going to look thin on the charts. But look at that gain. 330% today. This is a yield sign, so I'm anticipating we're going to find a filing and not news. So let's take a look at STIO and see what we can find here. All right. Oh, STJO. New glasses. I'm still trying to squint them out. So we're going to scroll right down to the bottom. Down at the bottom, you'll find the most current information on news and filings. News, nothing here since 2016, and they're all cease trade orders. Not good. What do we got here? 2 days ago. That's it. 2 days ago, we have 3 reports for 2000. I'm going to presume that that's 2019. They've got a digit missing here. I doubt it's for the year 2009. Talk about being late. 2021 and 2021. Let's see if there's anything else there, because that is a couple of days ago, but we've seen there have been many stocks running delayed. A day after a report comes out, nothing happens. Maybe nobody knew. Maybe it took Twitter time to get it out. I don't know. But then 24 hours later, wow, these things launch. It's like an extra long fuse. Now, they've had quite a lot of filings here, starting back on the 16th. You can see they got filings, and these are going back to 2019, right? 2020, 2021. They've got a lot of them. All right, so this has definitely been running on the current track. Let's go see what STJO looks like on the chart. Okay, this is TOS, Think or Swim. It is a free trading platform. Would cost you hundreds of dollars to get something comparable to this from anywhere else a month. Not a year, hundreds a month. And you can get it free. Just sign up for TD Ameritrade for a trading account. You don't actually have to trade with them, but you do actually have to sign up. And they'll give you a link, and ta-da, you can have this too. And it does all sorts of things, folks, but that's another show. Not to mention there's already a million videos out there on it. Okay, right now we are looking at STJO, St. Joseph Inc. We are on the 4-hour, just to give you a gander. She's, you know, a lot of sideways, actually. A lot of sideways. She's had some big bounces here and then another one today. So let's come into real time. Let's look at 5 minutes, 5 days. And goodness gracious, is this today? Yes, it is. So you can see she had, well, we're only getting a couple of days on here. And another one of those charts that just started the RSI, as if it just didn't count it back here or something. I've not seen that. It's twice today I've seen it. So I do want to go back 10 days, since it's not going to show us the full 5. What day is that? That is the 9th. So that's 10 days. You can see, folks, this is today. There's 1, 2, 3 days over the last 10 days. So there's missing like 5 days there. There's been no trading, so I told you the volume was thin on this. Today was a heavy day of trading for this company, and they did good, right? They went up 330%, jumped from a penny and a half up to 4.5. That's all it takes down here, folks. A penny and a half to 4.5 cents is 300%. Now, if this had been 8 cents, it had to go all the way to 24 cents. And that's the thing about buying penny stocks near the penny. It doesn't have to move far. From 1 to 2, you've doubled your money, right? From 1 to 3, you've tripled your money just on moving. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You do that on 7, 8, 9, 10, it's going to be a while before you double your money. All right, do I think this is going to continue running? Well, that's the 30-minute. Let's come down to 5-minute. Well, she ended on a high. She ended on a high, and we haven't seen a pullback, and I always expect a pullback when you see a high bubble. There's just a psychological thing like pulling your hand away from something that looks hot. So I expect it. We haven't seen it yet. Matter of fact, let's come in on that 1 minute and see if it actually passed. No, it is the very last minute it hit the high. So at the very last minute, you had the most excitement. It was climbing for the last 5 minutes, but it was going sideways for a very long time today. So taking a look at this, at its low, a penny and a half, 1 minute, right? We're on a minute, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minutes, folks. There's its high. I mean, it hit a high at the end of the day, but for a morning bounce, 3 minutes, this one was done giving you anything. Done. Is it going to run tomorrow? That was the original question. Well, it's got thin volume, and with thin volume, it's hard to predict which direction anything's going to go. If you're holding a hose with no water coming out of it, I really can't tell you where the water is going to go, how far it's going to shoot, because it isn't actually running. When it's on, I have a heck of a lot more to work with. This looks like it wants to go if it continues with its volume. If people are still interested in it, we're definitely high on the RSI. Now, this is the 1 minute. I really like to look in the 5 minute. We've got some volume. MACD is just hitting the signal line. Looks like it's got a crossover, which is good. And the RSI is just touching 70. So it could be put on the list to definitely watch. No doubt it. All right, scrolling back to our list. What are we looking for? High numbers. That's a stop sign. Can't touch it. All right, now this was a stop sign yesterday. I know absolutely sure it was because I owned it a long time ago. So every time I pass it, I notice it. And yesterday it was a stop sign. Today it's not. And yesterday it was growing. Yesterday it was growing. So it was being bought somewhere. I do believe that Interactive Brokers sells stop signs. I know TD Ameritrade does it and Merrill Lynch doesn't. So let's go see what we can find out on, which one was that? Yes, right there. We had, whoa. All right, we had some serious interest here. 1.2 billion shares moved on this stock with $500 million going into it. And, Pardon me, 500,000. Sorry, between the B's and the me's, the B's and the me's have got me confused. 1,700 people for 150% gains, which is not anything to complain about. All right, taking a look over here. Pink limited information, transfer agent verified. We don't have a verified profile yet. Okay, we can see she's had a huge gain here since the 17th, which was Friday. So I'm expecting to see some news here, maybe out on the Friday. Annual report disclosure, that was yesterday. So they had a yearly disclosure put out yesterday, and there's the attorney letter. The attorney letter is the last piece of the puzzle. It's the certification that says this is all legal and binding. And then the OTC market will put it in. So that just happened. Is there any news today? No news. So that is it. That happened yesterday, though, and they are responding to it. Well, as I told you, it was climbing yesterday. It's also climbing today. So let's go see what this has been doing just on going current. It hasn't done any new business. It's not making any new money. You know, when most people post their financials and it goes up, it's because they made money and they can prove it. These people are just putting in the paperwork and we're saying, yay, just for filing. And we're getting the big kicks out of it. Okay, UBQU, Ubitech Software Core, definitely sideways. I mean, all day. Once it hit its high, that was it. It had no more. And that's what it looks like it does. It takes jumps and goes sideways, but it also takes drops and goes sideways. And that's what you get with triple zeros. Triple zeros don't do a lot of climbing. They do a lot of stair stepping, and some of the steps are really long. So we had a jump up here today all the way from 0002 to 0005, which gives you that massive 150% gain. And is it going to climb? No, I don't think so. This is a stair stepper. This is a hold for an indefinite period of time. It is going current, but in my experience, 000 stocks do not launch. They just really don't. 0004, 0005 is the absolute lowest I normally ever try to buy them because the lower you go, the longer it takes for them to heat up. So, no, I don't think this is going to take off, but had we gotten into it early, boom, there was a nice 150. All right, we're all the way down here at the bottom already. Geez, for a strong day, there aren't as many as I thought we'd see. We had a lot more yesterday, and yesterday was not as strong. There's a big one, 1,900 plus people at 810 million shares put in, goodness gracious, $2.3 million into the company today, did 146% gains, and they're only a 0037. Double, not triple. I love to trade doubles. The doubles are actually as hot as the single zeros. There's a lot of quick ups and downs. Can make some good money on the double zeros and the single zeros. So let's go check out ET. Why do I do that? I forget I can just click the button just like you. All right, Pink Limited verified profile. That's what we want to see. Transfer agent verified. Scroll down to the bottom for the news. There is none. How about disclosures or filings? Yes, we do. We had one on the 17th and two on the 20th. Still no attorney letter. Now, these came out on the 20th, which is Monday. We've had nothing new the 21st. We've had nothing new the 22nd at all. So, to know that this is running for days just on the few filings it's got, and they have not even accepted yet. Until you get an attorney letter in, those aren't accepted. They're just sitting on the table, but they haven't been banked. So ETEK has been rising from the bottom corner to the top corner. Bubbles on each. Ideal for a trade, isn't it? Now, just so we know how far back is this climb going, let's go back 10 days. So that's about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's been planed out. And just for a quick gander at a 6-month period, we are at an extremely high. Matter of fact, it looks like it's almost double this high. If we were to put a line right there, let me get my money line right there. That looks to be about 50% of that bar. So it has actually really surpassed. Now, honestly, I would think that it would come down about 50% after that humongous climb. That's what I would think. Let's come in on the 5-minute, 5 day, so we can get a real true feel of how things have been going. You can see that she's had some big pokes. This day went down and down, but even though the volume was going down, the price continued climbing. Not at a high rate, but it was climbing. And we can see that it had a couple low spots on the RSI, but it kept coming back up and recharging on the top 70 line. You see that red, it's heating up, and that heat is keeping it rising. That heat is keeping that price rising. And again, the next day, the same thing. So we've had slow growth, which, hey, there's nothing wrong. If you've got time, let it grow. Slow growth is steady growth and reliable growth. Then you had a big bounce here, which was today. And there's no new news. There's no new filings today. So this is like, now maybe those filings came out at the very end of the day, right there. No way of telling. And that's the way HPIL was the other day. They were the absolute last filing that came out for the day. So this could have been the last filings, because today reacted as if they hadn't seen those before. Look at that volume. That volume is very strong. And speaking of volume, let's look at that end right there. We are on my 5-minute, which I like to look at. We have steady growth in volume here, all the way up for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes of growth. It hit a high. Now, I would anticipate a pullback, so let's see if it did it already on the 1 minute. It did. So we had our high hit here, which was just a reach, and it fell back. And it actually dipped a little bit lower and pulled up. So that may constitute the pullback, depending how much power she has. And it looks like the MACD is potent. And our RSI is, I mean, just a baby hair from touching on to burning and getting red. This looks really good for tomorrow. ETEK. Now the price right now is at 0037. Let's take a, I don't know if I can get any, no, I was looking for maybe some support lines to draw in there, but you'd have to, there's nothing, right? We're in the air. La-di-da. There is nothing up there, so speculation is really all we got. We see that everything is launching right now, and she's got some end power at the end of the day, so she may start tomorrow with an attitude to play. Put her on your list. All right, back to our list. Okay, so E-Tech, let's see what we got here. 119, that's not bad. Over 1 million shares, $86,000 into the company, 132%. And a price, probably a lot of you might be more comfortable, is 10 cents. So this thing went up, it started off at like 4 cents today, it looks like. So let's go see what is up with MTEI, Mountain Energy. They are a verified profile this month, which means they've already had all their boxes ticked to make sure that they're legal in all aspects. Transfer agent, make sure your shares are taken care of. Shell company, they don't have any revenues. That may be bad, it may be good. If they're not working when they're supposed to, well, that's not so good. Especially if they say they are. But if they're getting ready for a reverse merger and cleaning house and making it empty for the new company to move in, that's the way it's supposed to be. We got no news here, but we do have a supplemental information court-appointed custodian after quarterly reports. Well, that's interesting. The court. I wonder who put in the quarterly reports then, if they got the appointed custodian on the 19th. A lot of these companies have been abandoned, literally abandoned. There's been nobody at the helm for years, and the company's being bought and sold. Literally, they're doing nothing. The company doesn't even have an address, right? And people come along and just go to the court, and for court costs and picking up the debt and the filings, they can pick up a company. They can just take the ticker and then sell the ticker for a reverse merger and make a lot of money. And that's what Alpha Ridge. Alpha Ridge is a company right now that went out and got a ton of companies in the last few months because of this Sec 28 things happening, and they've got a lot of reverse mergers in play right now, quite a lot of them, and reverse mergers make a lot of profit for investors. So these are old filings, and I'm not quite sure about all the intricacies of them, but it did run today. On that, on being in a custodianship just means someone else is now in control until they get a CEO. Well, I just happened to have it on the 4 hour for MTEI, and look, it's another one of those giant pinnacles. They're just a flagpole out there in the middle of the desert. Look at this. Its high here is 13 cents. It fell back to 10 cents. Its standard high has been around 4 cents. 4 cents. So all this time, this is 6 months, it has just been hanging around the 4 cents, 2 cents, but nowhere up here. And all of this is for just getting someone at the wheel, getting the company current and somebody driving. Hey, don't you feel better when there's actually somebody at the wheel? So this is excitement just because people who've been invested in this didn't know they had nothing. And now they realize, hey, it's going to turn into something. So they are excited. Let's see what the last 5 minutes of today look like. Well, you can see it was slowly growing. It was just coming up, not a lot. You can see they're just dashes. There's very little going on here. And then today. And today was the 22nd, and this is the 21st and the 20th. So those filings did just come out a couple days ago. And people saw them, but again, if you'd have gotten into them the day they came out, being on your game, you're monitoring, you see this filing come out and say, ooh, look at this, they're going current. And you look and you see it's flat, it really isn't doing much, you say, but I saw a show that says these things are running, so I'm getting in. So you may have got in the first day, and the first day it does nothing, and even the second day it didn't do anything. But today it did. Delayed reaction on these, and I can't tell you why that's occurring. This is all very unique stuff happening right now. Stocks jumping just because they filed, and there's not even any revenues attached to the filings. So this is a very unique time, very unique stocks, very unique jumps, and it's a small window now. It's a very small window. We're down to about 5 days. Okay, I'm seeing that there are actually quite a lot going on in here. You've got TYTN at 3 million shares, 113 gains with 193 people. Down here we've got 1,000 people at 690 million shares, almost $1 million today for them, 94% gains. 2,200 people, 200 million shares, $2 million in the company. Let's check this one out. You know, I don't want to look at them all because we don't have enough time, but you see where they are. You can definitely come over here and just do what I'm doing. Find that big number, click that button, and scroll down to the bottom and see what's going on. I want to see what the catalyst is on this one. We don't want to miss news simply because we're watching the others. Okay, was there news today? That is 9/14. That's actually over a week ago. And so there's nothing actually currently happening here. Now, the last bit of news, Valiant Eagle Inc.'s Fungi Marketplace announces groundbreaking NFT content agreement with Sign Vision Global. Right. This company got the entire contract with Sign Vision to do NFTs for their entire catalog of movies and television shows, which is something like 2,000, 2,200, something like that. So, I don't know, maybe there's been something on Twitter. Let's just see, okay? We haven't done that. I'm going to take this and we're going to run over to Twitter and put that in behind this $ and see if 1,000 eyes have found something maybe we don't know about. Let me see. Wow, PSRU at $9.4 million in volume today. Crazy volume, 1.16 billion. What was that? That was 14th. Yeah, that was, I told you. A week ago, they had those filings come out. That excited people. September 16th. Okay, I'm going to come over here to latest, and I'm probably going to have to really scroll down because this is showing us 5 in the evening. See if there's anything back here. PSRU. I can't tell if that's just for ours. Hold, watch for this. They're all watching the technicals. We're not looking for technicals. We're looking for news. PSR, our new president is watching and already making moves. I want strong in this one. I don't know what the heck he's talking about. Volume tells you where the road leads. Breakout above 0.012 means new support upwards. See, they're just watching technicals. So I don't get it. Let's grab that and go look at the chart. Let's just see what they thought. All right, I've obviously looked at this one before. Let me back this out. Let's see where I was. Okay, this was on, all right, the 14th. We looked at this the day it ran. We looked at it. I don't know if we called it the day before. No, heck no. There was no indication this was going to come. We had no clue. So we had looked at this when it ran, and I put a 50% mark in here. And I don't know what this second one is for. Can't tell. That may be a 50% on this. In either case, it ran pretty much just below that all these days, and today it's taken off. Without any catalyst, without any news, it just decided to go. And this is the 1 hour. Let's come down to the 5 minute. Goodness gracious. So it drops in the morning here, climbs in the morning there, climbs in the morning down. Very erratic. It doesn't show any pattern whatsoever. The 200 is meandering across here like it's going around trees until today. And it didn't even start today like that. It took some time. It wasn't until 10 o'clock in the morning when everybody else decided to start the dip, it decided to take off. Pretty impressive. And how did it end? It ended strong. It ended strong. We had a lot of volume at the end. It hit a high bubble here, pulled back, came back up. Hasn't hit that high again, but it's not gone down any further. The RSI is very good looking, and the MACD is good too. So PSRU, Valiant Eagle Inc., looks to have something to give tomorrow morning. And the way the market's sentiment ended today, very well could easily take off tomorrow morning. Although remember, there's no catalyst. This is sentiment, all sentiment, and I guess just plain excitement. But this isn't going current. This just had old news, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. This has only had old news. It's had nothing current going on. A week old, and it jumps now. So sometimes you got to do a little more digging around. There's always a reason. You just can't always find that reason. So that was PSRU right there. There was this one above it. Oh, we did look at that one, which was CFGX. I mean, we didn't actually look at it, but I pointed it out. Here's another one, 477 with almost 500 million shares. $250,000 into the company, 83% gains. We'll take a look at AHFD. Verified profile this month. That's great. Transfer agent, shell company. They've got no revenues. Active Health Foods. See what news we got. We got no news. Do we have any? Oh, right there. Today. No, yesterday. Yesterday, quarterly report for June 30th. So this is the last quarter of this year. Attorney letter, respect to information. I don't know why that one would be for this. And an 8K. Oh, and an 8K too. Let's see what this 8K says. 8Ks can be boring, but they can be very interesting sometimes. 10,000 process. Okay. It's about moving some preferred shares. That's actually what they're doing there. But this all happened yesterday. The 8K, the attorney letter, the quarterly report. So possibly this was even running yesterday, not just today. Now look at the price. The price is really low. This is a 0.0055. Now most of the time, and I could be wrong about this, but traders, me and you, we can only pay that. We can't offer up that extra 5 on the end. It'll tell us to go to a full number back. So how do you get this? Well, from what I understand, those are brokers. Brokers can go to that next digit, so they can buy in between the ask and the bid. Some of these asks and bids got no spread at all between them, and it just locks them up, and they're just headbutting all day like two rams. Just can't get anywhere until the price moves. So That is a very cheap price, and I'm not expecting this chart to look like anything special. This is even a scarcer picket fence than the others. Normally you see bars up and down all the way. Here you see a lot of dashes. Dot, 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 dash, dot, dot, dash. Of course, Morse code chart. So it took a bounce, got that big jump, and is just going sideways, which is what I told you. That's what trip zeros do. They take a bounce and they go sideways. They take a bounce and they go sideways until they break into the double zeros, and that's when they start to move quicker. So I wasn't expecting much from this one, and I don't expect, I mean, you can see the MACD's been falling. It's held its price, but the interest, see how the volume's gotten lower, 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 lower? Right along with the MACD. They harmonize together. And this one more or less harmonizes with the price. And it's at 50. It's sleeping, it's in bed, it's not going to even hurt anybody. It's just lazy right now. So this isn't going to do anything tomorrow as far as I can tell. But it was on the list, so it didn't hurt to check it out. And that's 81%. That's down at the bottom now. But 81%, I mean, you know, I would be happy to make 80% on a regular basis. If you could come here and go through these stocks and find yourself a 50, 80 each day, we all want to hit home runs. Of course, everyone wants to be a Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth also struck out more than anybody else. That's what happens when you go for the fences all the time. So, getting on base all the time is how you win games. You can't lose a game if you just keep getting on base. So, a 20% over and over again will make you rich, especially if you compound it. So, this is a good place to narrow your search down. Knowing where the people are at, you can see the evidence is here. We're not doing any guessing. You can see how much money those people are spending. 172, now, you know, it may only be 150 people, but that's even more, right? 150 people spending $150,000. Each person spending $1,000. Wow, that's a high average. Down here we got 2,700. Oh, this was the one I added to the list. Now, this one has been surprising. You can see we had a lot of people on it, 2,700. We did just over 500 million shares. There was $3 million plus thrown at this company today, and they ended up with 54% gains. Now, this company should have done better. This company is going through the same thing. They just filed a bunch of filings, and they put in their attorney letter yesterday. It was the absolute last filing on the record yesterday, and I saw it making the show, and it blew my mind because I've been waiting for it for a long time, about 5 months. So I expected some real big movements today. It didn't. It took a jump. Matter of fact, let's not talk about it. Oh, who wants to talk about a chart when you can't see it? Blech. Okay, so this is HPIL. That is their name, HPIL Holdings. HPIL was a dead in the water company, and Stephen Brown, the new CEO, took it over about 5 months ago, and he had 5 years of garbage to clean up, and in that cleanup he took on other companies. You could kind of think of it as an incubator. He's brought on new technologies, and some of it's pretty amazing. The most amazing part to me is an electric car that never needs to be charged. That, I think, is priceless. I can't even put a price tag on that, and I don't want to let go of the stock because he says the science is real. Some of you listening to this are saying, it ain't possible. They would have done it years ago if they could. Exactly. That's what everybody said, which is what makes it so bloody exciting. If he's got what he says he's got, wow. Wow. He's going to make Tesla old news fast. So, this company just had all that come out today. We expected it to run like all the rest we've seen, but it didn't. It didn't. It had a bounce from yesterday. I told you it was the last file, so we had some pre-market aftermarket, and that's where all the gains happened. Pre-market aftermarket. Now, it honestly did not go limited till after the bell. So these pre-market orders, I don't know where they were bought, maybe Interactive Brokers, I don't know. But as you can see, once it hit, it just pretty much went sideways all day and even took a dip at the end. So all I can figure is that there is going to be a delayed reaction here. It's still got to go current. I know what this company is. I know what they have got or at least say they have, and I know the following she's got. So I'm a little confused, maybe even discouraged, but just temporarily, because this stock, I do. Now they've got other things, NFTs, online gaming, and I mean games, like, gaming for money, not gambling gaming. So they've got a lot of things in the work, but it did not perform as was expected, and it was a shock to me today. Seriously was, and you can see she ended the day in a very, very poor fashion. Look at that. I got to pull this up just to see how low it was. It really fell hard today. So this actually is a long hold for me. I got in cheap, but I think what they've got is going to be something big. And, I would like to have a stock that I got in under a penny that goes to over $1. And I think if you have an electric car that never, ever needs charging, they've got, I think it's a gel battery that self-charges itself as the car is using. It's not actually like there's a generator putting power in. It's this new gel battery. I don't know a whole lot about it. I've been reading the buzz, and if it works, oh, imagine they could put this gel battery in anything. Wheelchairs, scooters, I mean, just anything. God almighty. Endless power for free. Okay. Well, folks, now you see where I'm going to getting all my leads. And you can do this every day. Simply coming over here to current. Don't lose track of how we're doing this. Current markets right there. You can go to news and look at other things. They've got lots of information here. But coming to advancers, and maybe you just want, because after Monday, this September 28th thing is done. These should all be gone. You should not see stop signs anymore. You should not see these. They just won't be on the page. Where'd all the black ones go? So they'll all disappear, and it's going to get cleaner. It's going to be normal stocks you're trading now that are reporting, that are putting information out, because if they don't, they've got new rules now. So you can come here every day, and now just using news as a catalyst, or a good filing, or inside buys, whatever it is, when people learn about it, they're going to start investing. Okay, just like yesterday, I have left some goodies on the table. But I'm hoping that you're not coming here just to get leads. Because folks, you can get those leads yourself. You can probably do it even better than I can. You don't have to go to screeners and read all that information unless you want to. You don't have to read all the news and try to be psychic and figure out which one's going to have the biggest response. You can just go to the otcmarkets.com and let the advanced search literally pinpoint a small list of stocks for you that you can focus on. Why not just focus on the grass that's growing? Why cut the whole bloody lawn if it's not growing? Just cut the long grass. And that's what I'm showing you. I hope it helps, folks. Well, thanks for showing up. And remember, the more you know, the more you grow. See you, folks.